Hare Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Madhava Ashtu Saki ki jai. Panchatattva Bhagwan ki jai. Prahlad Nrsimhadev Bhagwan ki jai. Hare Krishna. Very, very warm welcome to everybody for this morning's Japa Yagna. As always, I first take this opportunity to thank all the people who did this Japa lead, did their service nicely. And welcome to the next part, which is reading and discussing of Srimad Bhagavatam. Before that, we do a very short kirtan and enter into this discussion. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतीरावनचारि जयो राधमाधवा कुन्दविहारी Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayo Gandharvika Giridhari, Gandharvika Giridhari Gaurari. Jayo Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Anantave Lakshmi Narasimha Jayo Anantave Nishtai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Hare Krishna. We are actually in the second canto, chapter 1, titled The First Step in God Realization. And today there are about. Is the screen visible?
Yes, Prabhu, visible.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Okay, so we are having about 3 verses, but as always, there are we discuss only on the verse where Prabhupada has given a purport. So very quickly, we'll read those two verses and then we'll go on to the 36th verse. ईश्याकेशं विदुराम्बुवाहन् वश्यस्तु सन्ध्यां कुरुवर्यभुनः अव्यक्तमाहुर्हृदयं मनश्च सचन्द्रमा सर्वविकरकोशः. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The first translation goes like this: O best among Kurus, the clouds which carry water are hairs on his head. The terminations of day or nights are his dress, and the supreme cause of material creation is his intelligence. His mind is the moon, reservoir of all changes. So the next verse, 35. Vijnana Shaktim Mahim Amananti Sarvatra Manot Karanam Giritram Ashvashyatari Staraga Janakani Sarve Mriga Pashavastro Deshi. The principle of matter, Mahatattva, is the consciousness of the omnipresent Lord. As asserted by the experts, the Rudradeva is his ego. The horse, the mule, the camel, and elephant are his nails, and Wild animals and all quadrupeds are situated in the belt zone of the Lord. So we move on to the verse we actually going to discuss today. Vayam sitadvya vichitram manurmanisya manujo nivasaha gandharva vidya daracharanapshara sarva smritir asurini kaviryaha. Translation: varieties of birds are indications of his masterful artistic sense. Manu, the father of mankind, is the emblem of his standard intelligence, and humanity is his residence. The celestial species of human beings like Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Charnas, and angels are represent his musical rhythm, and the demoniac soldiers are representation of his wonderful prowess. Purport. Quickly, I'll try and read it. The aesthetic sense of the Lord is manifested in the artistic, colorful creations of varieties of birds like peacock, parrot, and cuckoo. The celestial species of human beings like Gandharvas and Vidyadharas can sing wonderfully and recite even the minds of the heavenly demigods. Their musical rhythm represents the musical sense of the Lord. And how can he be impersonal? His musical taste, artistic sense, and standard intelligence, which is never fallible, are different signs of his supreme personality. The Manusmriti is the standard law book for humanity, and every human is advised to follow this great book of social knowledge. Human society. Human society is the residential quarters of the Lord. Look at this point. This means that human beings meant for God realization and association with God. This life is a chance for conditioned soul to regain his eternal God consciousness and thus fulfill the mission of life. Maharaj Prahlad is the right type of representative of the Lord in the family of Asuras. None of the living beings is away from the Lord's gigantic body. Each and every one has a particular duty in relation to supreme body. Again, disruption in the matter of discharging the specific duty assigned to each and every living being is the cause of disharmony between one living being and another. But when the relationship is established when the relation is re-established in relation with the Supreme Lord, there is complete unity between all living beings, even up to the limit of wild animals and human society. Right? So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed this living unity in the jungle of Madhya Pradesh, where even the tigers, elephants, and many other ferocious animals perfectly cooperated in glorifying the Supreme Lord. This is the way to peace and amity all over the world. Wonderful purport, as always. Let me tell my prayers before we get into the discussion. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप गदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंचाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। पतित पावन गुरुदेव की जय। हरे कृष्ण। So such wonderful details we are in, right? One of the we are in a section where there's a lot of explanation of Virata Rupa, right? Just to show how gigantic the Lord is, and So before we go on to this today's verse of the verse which we are discussing, there is a wonderful verse in the third canto, chapter 5, where Vidura talks with Maitreya. There, Vidura says, Sa Shraddha, Sa Shraddha Danasya Vividhramana Viraktim Anyantara Karoti Pumsa Hari Padan Padanusmrita nivratasya samast dukkapayam asudate. So, what is this verse telling? Okay, it's saying Vidura is saying there are three things which happens when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam with Shraddha and full attention. I mean, only when we have faith, right? Shraddha, we have full attention. Sa Shraddha Manasya, he says. So, one who is engaging constantly in hearing such topics. Which topics? Krishna Katha. Gradually increases his indifference towards other things. Now, you will see what this indifference is. Such constant remembrance of the lotus feet of the Lord, Krishna, by a devotee who's achieved transcendental bliss vanquishes all miseries. So, in that purport, Srila Prabhupada states Shraddhana Pumsa. What he is writing as one who is engaged anxiously in bona fide hearing of Krishna Katha. So, Prabhupada adds a word bona fide hearing. Now, what are the three things he says? Viraptim, that is detachment from the material world. And what does he get attached to? Padanusmriti, whose Hari Pada, that is, you will get attached to the lotus feet. Okay, now if you do these two things, one is detachment and get attachment to the lotus feet of Krishna, what is the bonus which we get? Material miseries and pain are vanquished. It says, Samasta Dukkha. Okay, all the dukkha is just vanquished without any delay. So after hearing such a wonderful verse, right, such a what I always call is a motivational verse or a encouraging verse, we now move on to today's verse. So as I said, this is absolutely Sukadeva Goswami's description of the Virata Rupa. So Srila Prabhupada mentions that nothing can be separated from the gigantic body of the Lord. This means everything is Krishna's, or a pure devotee understands this. So, this theme actually is explained in the Bhagavad Gita in the sixth chapter, right? Before before Krishna very intelligently, somehow describes everything to Arjuna in such a way that he renounces the path of Dhyana Yoga, right? And understands that it is not suitable and the best way forward is Bhakti Yoga. In that one shloka, 6th chapter, 30th verse, Yomam Pashyanti Sarvatra Sarvam Cha Mai Pashyati Tasyam Na Pranasyami Sa Cha Me Na Pranasyati. What does it say? For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. Which means uh, the pure devotees can see Krishna everywhere and his representation. Through how do they see it? Through his energies. And this is the vision of a pure devotee, right? Ultimately, everything is connected to Krishna, is what a pure devotee understands, right? Now, this brief description of Sukadeva Goswami, I mean, I'm saying brief because Sukadeva Goswami is going to explain more elaborate description, which is waiting in the next chapters for us. So, these verses are us or for us to understand the magnitude of the gigantic expansion of Mahavishnu. Sometimes we just can't imagine. These are all going to at least make us understand that. So at least these description will bring us to the context that we need to appreciate Krishna by seeing his creation, right? That's the intention, right? Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that the purpose of human lives is to re-establish our lost connection with Supreme Lord. This is exactly the line Prabhupada uses, right? What is that he says? This means that human being is meant for God realization and association with God, it says, right? So the only aim, the only aim or the only chance to go back home, and let me put it like this is the only purpose of our existence in this material world, right? These above lines are very clear. Right, the only life is this life is a chance for conditioned soul to regain his eternal God consciousness and thus fulfill the mission. That means the only purpose, right? So this lines, it looks like Prabhujis and Matajis will be saying, what is this? This is line is we have heard in every class from everybody, right? Everybody seems to be repeating the same line. Why? Because otherwise our lives are non-different from animals, right? We all know what Hitopism says, right? Ahara nityabhaya maitunya samanete pashubir samana dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesham and dharme hi na pashubi samanaha. What is that? Eating, sleeping, um, fearing or defending and mating. These are the parts of humans, where on the part of human is common with the animals, right? But what is differentiating or a distinguishing quality is that dharma is in humans is greater. That is, we can conclude that those who are devoid of this dharma are same as animals. Now, we are not saying this. This is non-different from animals. This is what the Sitopatisham Shastras are saying. Srila Prabhupada used to say, what is it? We are all Dvidapada Pashu. I mean, two-legged animals, right? So, what is this KC movement for? It is only for, it is meant for human beings, firstly, right? Many places, Srila Prabhupada said, if you bring the cats and dogs, they cannot, what can they do? They cannot chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? They won't be able to, right? So, to develop the higher sense, to inquire about the absolute truth, right? That is the only business of in humans, right? Tattva jignasa, atato brahma jignasa, whatever you call it. This is the only way we can walk to the gates of liberation, right? The only vehicle, this human body is the only vehicle with which uh, we can utilize the association of devotees and then continue our spirituality. So wonderful. Otherwise, see, we one thing is guaranteed. It Shastra says it's sulabha, which means human life is sulabha. What is this, Prabhu? Are you saying it is sulabha? Yes. What we have to do, just wait for 84 lakh species. Definitely you will get your human life. Now, it is guaranteed. But how many species we have to wait? 84 lakh species. But that's why it's also mentioned Sudurlabha, which meaning that we have to wait for a long time, right? Why long time? Because we have to develop that much piety, that much pious activities we have to develop to cross over all these species, right from Jalaja, right? Navalakshani, we all know the verse, right? From there, we have to come from trees, plants, insects, then come to whatever, reptiles, animals, then in that animals also, a couple of very few of them, then come to the human form. So, Sulabha, but it is also Sudurlabha, which means waiting a long time. So, see, we often in Shastras, this particular place is, human body and the samsara is referred as a boat. I mean, the only boat you can cross over the sea, right? Now, in a boat, we all know we need a captain. The captain is a guru, right? Without which one cannot sail, right? Now, it is not enough that we have in a boat, we have a guru. We also need favorable winds to cross over. What are those winds? This very scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, chanting of the holy name, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, all these acts as favorable winds. Now, you have a boat, you have a captain, you have a wonderful parampara, captain, guru, huh? And then you have favorable winds. What more we are, what else is missing? Nothing, right? Now, in this also, if we don't take, despite giving all these facilities, if one does not use this particular vehicle to do the Tattva Jignasa, Brahma Jignasa, then he is called Atmanaha. What is it? Killer of the soul, right? Not giving a chance for the soul to, not giving a chance, like in despite giving all these facilities, if you don't allow the soul to get nourished, giving, not feeding the soul, then what's going to happen? We're going to slide down, like we have the snake and ladder. After going 99, you slide down to some lowest number. Like that, we'll slide down to the animal form of life. Not just the animal form, we'll start right from the aquatic, right? So when we say facilities, what are the facilities? Definitely in a, even as in our kutumba itself, Radha Gopinath circle kutumba, we have all these facilities: morning japa sessions, Srimad Bhagavatam reading, hearing. So if we don't utilize it, how utilize it? Not only we coming, I know this, I'm going to know, we need to tell our friends, relatives. Actually, why relatives, friends, even enemies? Okay, because that becomes our main goal of human life, right? To develop love for Krishna. Right. Now, Srila Prabhupada mentions one more line here. I mean, I found that also very beautiful. Just after this means, yeah, disruption in the matter of discharging the specific duty assigned to each and every living being is the cause of disharmony between one living being to another. Right. Right. This is I mean, we can read that, continue it further. But when the relation is re-established in relation with the Supreme Lord, there is complete unity between living entities, even up to the limit of wild animals and human society. What is this, Prabhuji? You're telling you want us to bring unity with wild animals? No, not necessarily. I mean, see, there is a friction, right? Friction between one living entity and another. Why? Because simply, I mean, if you really analyze it, we can make out it simply because those two living entities are not doing devotional service to Krishna, right? If one is united in performing devotional service, I mean, right? There were, because who can disagree? 80 people assembled, there was absolute harmony. Everybody wanted to only dance, sing, and eat prasadam. So, that's why Srila Prabhupada immediately, very quickly brings this example of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed this living unity in the jungle of Jharikanda. That is your Jharikanda forest, right? We all know this wonderful pastimes where tigers, deers were all singing and dancing. Now you're going to say, Prabhuji, Mahaprabhu was Krishna himself. How can you compare? We absolutely agree. We don't have the same power nor the same purity. We are not Krishna. Right. But however, if we are sincere enough, I mean, when I say sincere in our sadhana, serious, strict, doing all this, can we forget the animals? Can we not at least ensure the general public will chant and dance? So, in a way, the animalistic mentality, the humans, at least we can make them dance, right? Right? There is no doubt. Why? Because um, Mahaprabhu is given this moment. Mahavadanyaya. He is so merciful. He is given this moment. How can we doubt the potency of Namachintamani, right? It is Krishna's, the Prabhuji was telling us yeah, the last Sunday. This Krishna's potency is there. By just chanting that, we can at least make the humans, the animal instinct in the humans, at least them dance, and by doing Sankirtan, right? So we must follow the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, our Gurudev, right? And of course, Mahaprabhu has given us much more than this. He has given us more than liberation to devotees, right? That is why Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur always prayed in the age of Kali Yuga, right? Practically speaking, when all the qualities are missing, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed to us the bhakti, the treasure of love through the chanting of holy name. Of course, we all know that there are two reasons for Mahaprabhu's descent. There is an internal and external. At least external is to preach Krishna consciousness, right? So, if you see, why did the Panchatattva, all of them came down to this earth? Why did we all had the appearance day of Advaita Acharya very recently, right? Just couple of days. Why did they all come to earth? Only to enjoy the love of Godhead, treasure of love of Godhead. Actually, initially, they were all enjoying very privately. They were all locked within themselves, their homes. We all had been to the Shiva Shangan. They simply drank the nectar themselves in a closed room, night kirtan, wonderfully enjoyed by very few people. But the problem is, the more and more they drank, the more and more thirsty they became. And how did they quench their thirst? Just simply going out and doing Sankirtan, right? Just like we saw recently, Yuga Dharma Prabhu from Russia, he's come all the way. Why did he? He wanted to come and enjoy it along with others, right? He came all the way to Bengaluru to Shri Shri Lakshmi Narsingadev Mandir, and from there he came to Neelama Mataji's house in Jakku. And what did they all say? They all said that actually you are helping us enjoy this nectar more, because he couldn't do it alone. He wanted to do it with devotees, with the Kutumba of Radha Gopinath circle, right? So, what is it? One quality which is required. Of course, first Prabhupada always says for preaching or for doing Sankirtan, you need enthusiasm, but along with it, you need compassion, right? Srila Prabhupada says Maharaj Prahlad is the right type of representative of the Lord in the family of Asuras, who did not want liberation. What did he say? I want all other mudas also to, please surrender to Krishna, right? So this Premadana is there for everyone. The Hare Krishna Mahamantra is free, whether you're qualified or unqualified. All scriptures confirm the same, right? Just by chanting the holy name, the success there is there in life can be achieved, right? Just very this morning, I don't know how many of you heard Radha Krishna Prabhu, His Grace Radha Krishna Prabhu telling that, I think Padma Purana or somewhere he read from. Those who chant the holy name very loudly, all the sinful reactions will run away. He said, like Simba the Garjane, I think he told, like how roar of lion, all the small animals will run away. That way, all our sinful reactions will run away, right? How fortunate are we, right? Just by loudly chanting, sinful reactions run away. Okay. So that is why Ayendra Prabhu used to say, Sankirtan as Sangha Kirtan, right? That way, not only we benefit, others also benefit and bring them closer to Krishna, right? Which might include even animals and humans, right? So we were not quite far away from understanding this. Anyone who come to Nilama Mataji's house, I've seen this personal realization. You see Nilama Mataji's dog, otherwise always will be shouting. Whenever devotees come and start kirtan, it quietly sits down, right? Not only the dog, this time we had some special guests also. There were monkeys also who came and joined. I think they also know ISKCON always ends the kirtan with prasadam. I think they came. Okay. Anyway, so back to the words. I was actually, we all know this LinkedIn. I was actually checking on something for references in LinkedIn, and I found a very interesting post in that. Uh, I mean, I don't know. I think he had referred it as it was from Ramayanam. This verse I saw. Varjanam bhava bijanam, arjanam sukha sampadam, tarjanam yamadutanam, rama rameti garjanam. So, what does it mean? The seed, it says, bhava bijanam. That is, if the seed of sinful activities is completely destroyed. Remember, the verse says bijanam. And then let's see the next point. Uh, then Sukha Sampada. I mean, for those, we get a lot of happiness, that is, material desires are fulfilled, right? Devotees understand it is just the minimum desires are fulfilled. Now, Yamadutas, Tarjanam Yamadutanam, that is, agents will run away for those who chant Rama Rameti Garjanam, right? Who loudly chants Garjanam, Rama Rameti. Now we all know that our Hare Krishna Mahamantra has got Rama also. So all the devotees of um, in our parampara anyway chanting Krishna and Rama both. So I shall end this with a wonderful point. Um, Gargamuni used to, I once said to Srila Prabhupada, I do not feel like offering obeisances to you, Prabhupada, because I feel it is still very artificial, right? He was saying that he was not getting the bhava. But what did Srila Prabhupada say? He said, do it. Even if it is artificial, do it. He wanted him to pay obeisances and say, one day the feeling will come. So, same here. We need to keep on chanting with a lot of faith. Remember, we started with this wonderful verse called Shraddha, with a faith, with a feeling, with a bhava. I know it's cold mornings, people are not able to get up. So, we still need to get up. Right? Sometimes we'll say we'll wait for sun to come. No. Let's continue the chanting in the morning. Let's hear the Srimad Bhagavatam verses from all the wonderful Vaishnavas. One day, surely the feelings, the bhava will come, right? So I would like to end here with this point that let's continue to chant. Let's keep on doing it. As the saying says, we very very early days fake it till we make it. So these are the some points which I could gather from all these verses. So we saw. Let me summarize by saying we heard the benefits of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. We understood how pure devotee sees Krishna everywhere. We also understood how human body is meant for God realization, and we understood that we need to re-establish our relationship with Krishna by doing devotional service. And why do we do Sankirtan activities? We have to go out and do, not just alone or inside your family, and how important it is to chant loudly. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जाय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाय। पतित पावन गुरुदेव की जाय। हरे कृष्णा। थैंक